Hey guys, do you know what's ridiculous? It's absolutely ridiculous that we're talking about sending satellites to space. Silly, ridiculous. And I'll talk about why. Okay. A lot of just in terms of setups, right? Sorry about the background noise. But the view is nice, guys. The view is nice. I'll go for a hike later. But speaking of nature, right, and the amount of land we have, right? Just look at this much land, right? And this is France, right? Well, France, I think, yeah, for those who know, you'd know this is one of the French mountains, right? You get very good deals around summer, by the way. So, guys, if you want to head out to France in the summer, head to the mountains. Usually, this is so expensive. All this area is always a ski resort. So, I'm on about 2,200 feet of elevation, sorry, which means that all here is always covered in snow. If you come in the summer, it's nice and it's all melted and it's beautiful, beautiful for hikes. But those days, I think 20 years ago, there used to be, snow all over here. So this is the impact of global warming, right? If you see up here, so I'll turn this camera around. If you look up there, just about there, I'm not sure if you can see, there we go. Just about there, you see there's still some a bit of snow up there. I'm not sure if I'm getting the orientation right. Could be this way for you guys. There's a bit of snow up there, right? That snow would have been pure, like white about 10 years ago. So it's real time. It's happening, right? So people argue and say, global warming is not real. You just have to see it, right? It's not about what you read in the papers because people in the paper, and I know this as well, being CEO of NaijaCharge. So NaijaCharge, we do solar panels, but the idea of solar panels and having electricity and renewable energy is the fact that you want to try and reuse what you have rather than generating things from scratch because it costs money. It costs the environment time, right? Very, very small, minute, but it adds up in time. Up there on that mountain would have been pure ice those days in the summer. It's gone. So the ice caps are melting as we see. Same thing as well up here. So up there would have been at least. So there's people actually. I'm not sure if you can make it up. There are people jumping off that mountain up there right now, which is so cool. But those places would have been really cold and full of like snow. It's all gone, right? So that's what we're facing right now. Okay, but it's absolutely ridiculous that rather than reusing what we have, people are going up to space. Okay, and I'll tell you why it doesn't make sense, right? Again, I'm not I'm not a Elon Musk hater or Jeff Bezos or any of these guys that are working on that. And I think they should, right? I think they should work on getting us to space. I think they should work on getting us to the moon. Sorry, can't see blasting music there. There's someone, this is cyclist just going up there. There you go. I'm sure you can see him there. There you go. He's cycling all the way up the mountain, which is very good. It's good to see things like that. I might do that one of these days. But the point I'm trying to make with Elon Musk and these guys sending data, sending satellite up to the sky, is that it's time in send. I mean, they have the money, okay? I'm assuming this is their money. But if they're raising money for this, right, then it costs a lot more, right? In terms of just pure numbers, let's talk numbers, right? Just to send 50 kg up to just again, when we say space, we don't mean space, right? Imagine this is the Earth, right? Space where they send the satellites to is just about here. So right now, if you look at the Earth, we're here, and then the satellites are up here, which is not a lot in terms of kilometers, but that's it. So it gives you much more room to wiggle around, okay, and get data from the sun, okay, as we do here, by the way. But you have more space. Yeah, so if you have more space, that's good. But to send 50 kilograms, okay, it costs between 1 million to 5 million to send data up to the sky. Okay, and there's a lot going up. Okay, but now he has a lot of. I think they were looking at how much SpaceX have. They have tens of thousands of satellites up there in the sky, which helps in terms of it helps in terms of the satellite transmission, which is very important. There's Starlinks as well, which most internet providers use today. Is used today for sailing. Is used today for geo pointing. Is used for war. So it's really. I mean, there's some use behind it. Okay, and there's nothing against that. Well, I suppose from a cost point of view, I'm looking at it as okay, how expensive is it to send up a satellite or a solar panel? Okay, because solar panels are good, okay, they help. But if you put it up in the sky, it costs you 5 million, send up there. Oh wait, and let's not forget, these things have a timeline. They say it costs about between 5 to 10 years to start to denigrate. So you need to get rid of them and replace them. That's a simple way of looking at it. If you replace that as well, that's it, so it's gone. Okay. So your commercial satellite, okay, just a tiny satellite. It's usually about 500K for hardware. So 500K for hardware, 5 million to send it up. That's 5.5 million per satellite unit. Okay. For comparison, let's look at Asia. Okay. Asia right now is in terms of kilometers. I'm not sure if it makes sense to people. When people throw these numbers as well, I'm always confused, right? But I can tell you in Asia, we're looking at 44.6 million square meters of land not used in Asia right now. Yeah. Same deal as well. I mean, so people talk about, oh, the whole world is getting congested. But look, notice this, right? Look at this. If you see this, there's a lot of houses there. But around it, there's nothing there. Okay, I'm not saying everyone should go building all these houses. The point I'm trying to make is there's freedom, right? The earth already has loads and loads of millions of square miles. Asia, we talked about. Africa is huge. In terms of Africa, right? We looked at how many deployments we do to Africa. So we do solar panel deployments as well to Africa and to Asia. Now, the idea, if you compare that to USA, so most solar panels, believe it or not, most of the data center are done in the US. They're actually done in Texas, the 472 Memphis, Tennessee, and all those areas, which is very good for sunlight. Okay, that's fine. But the downside of these things is that you're doing it very, very close to where people live, which is a huge inconvenience in terms of clean water, huge inconvenience in terms of the noise, okay, and which is a problem. So that's why our idea comes in, and that's where NaijaCharge, check it out, NAIJA charge. NaijaCharge has solar panel units, very tiny units. And what that does is that helps you then deploy it to Africa, deploy to Asia, where there's loads of land. And effectively, what we do is we actually sell them to houses and to small business owners. If you're a small business owner, what you do then is you actually order those devices, you order our panels, and then you actually go ahead and generate electricity, which you sell back to people, or you actually use that to charge phones for business users, which, believe it or not, is a big issue in Africa and in Asia, right? Again, for us, my battery dies, I have to run and go charge it right now in Europe, okay? Light work, that's easy. The pain for me is to get a charger, okay? Which again, that's nothing compared to these guys where they have to go and look for it. That's where the solar panel come in, which is very good. And we have a lot of support as well, by the way. Guys, if you want to support, go to NaijaCharge.com, by the way. We have a lot of people that come in and just support. There was a lady who joined us last time, and I think she's an investor. Okay, she invests in a few things, but she called us up and said, "Hey, I want to invest in South Africa. I want to get some solar panels in there, and not for the money." So I think she put in 10,000 or something. It wasn't about the money. It was more or less about just deploying something that small business owners can use. And she makes, I think, between 5 to 6%, but that 5 to 6% is not for the investment because she sends it back out. So it's one of those philanthropic things that people do, which it helps. But the point I'm trying to make is it's not really about philanthropy. It's not about the money because again, we do the deployments, we lose money. Okay. But the important thing is just making use of what we have. That's why I say it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for us to take solar panels, solar units, data centers, and spend money sending it up to space when it's here in land. Like there's loads of land. We could use land. The other day, a Chinese company came up with, I've forgotten the name. Guys, check them out. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But there's a Chinese company that came up with data centers in the sea, in the ocean. That's true. Like the earth is surrounded by water, by ocean. 70% of the landmass is made of water. 70%. So that means rather than going up to space, perhaps if you just put these solar units or data centers in the water and that cools it down. So that's something where we need to start thinking outside the box. I know everyone wants to head to space, okay? People want to go to space. My fellow investors, again, I have to say this, investment bankers, they run to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and they go to space, which is okay. I think you should. But space is one. Land is another, sea is another, right? So, guys, support companies, and I'm not just saying they should support us clearly, right? NaijaCharge.com, but also support companies who actually deploy data centers to the land. Distributed means that you have them in different places, okay? And they're very small as well. But that helps you then because instead of going up to, if I was going to send data, for instance, instead of me sending it up to space and back down, or sending it to Texas and back to me, which is always the case, what you do then is you send it to someone local. So in this case, if the solar unit is actually there, instead of going all the way to the US or going up to space, it comes here and you get it a lot quicker. So the distributed data, I think, is something that needs to be supported a bit more. It's something that people need to talk about more. I'm talking about it here as a founder, but people need to talk about it, spread the word, okay? Again, we're not super celebrities. Even, I'll tell you, Elon Musk struggles to get the word out, okay? The world is big. He's always on social media. He bought Twitter for this, right? He bought Twitter because he can spread the word, okay? And I agree. I like him for that, right? So if you're spreading the word as a founder, keep doing it, right? Same thing as well. So I'm spreading the word now to say, guys, order solar panels from us. We deploy them to Africa and Asia and several land where we can use them internally rather than waiting to go to space or waiting to go to the US. You can have data within your own continent that you use, or you can support Asia. Okay, if you're in Asia, if you're in Europe, for instance, and you're African, you can support Africa. If you're in Europe and you're Asian, Indian, you can support India in that way. Okay, so catch you in the next one and see you. And again, one of the crazy things to think about: why do we not have solar panels on Earth? NaijaCharge.com. Let's talk later. Bye. Daddy, you have to get ready.